Felucia is coming to Battlefront 2 this fall and is planned to drop for the Capital Supremacy game mode and the new non-player versus player experiences that are coming this month in August. While this is really cool, a new planet is always welcome in Battlefront 2, especially from the Clone Wars era, this does make me wonder if it may or may not be the last planet we get for the game while it's still supported. Welcome back to the Star Bazaar, guys, and to another discussion video for Battlefront 2. It's been a while. In this one, we're talking about the upcoming new planet and going over how realistic it might be to see other planet locations after Felucia. Before we get started, let me know in a comment what planet you would like to see most come to Battlefront 2. Personally, I've always been partial to Coruscant myself, but at the same time, it has been Clone Wars overload lately. That's not necessarily a bad thing though. We as a community definitely asked for more Clone Wars content, and DICE certainly delivered. I would just like to see content from other eras as well. But I digress. Felucia is the next confirmed planet for Battlefront 2, and it will be the fourth completely new map added to Battlefront 2 since the launch of the game. By completely new, I simply mean that it won't be a rehashed map, or a map that is based on one that already exists in the game. Crate, the Trippa Hive Geonosis map, and the Pipeline Junction West map in Capital Supremacy are the three new maps we've received post-launch, plus the insides of the two capital ships in CS. Felucia will be the next one that is brand new. Now, to get an idea of how realistic more maps after Felucia will be, we have to get an idea of Battlefront 2's timeline. Battlefront 2 was released in November of 2017, not even 2 years ago yet. Crate was released in December that year to coincide with the release of The Last Jedi that month, just 1 month after the launch of the game. That's such a close span of time that I'm positive Crate was worked on and finished prior to Battlefront 2's release so that they could just drop it when the movie came out. Realistically, they could have dropped Crate with the launch of the game, it just wouldn't have made sense to do it before Episode 8. Now, fast forward to the next map release, which was the Trippa Hive Geonosis map for Galactic Assault in November of last year. That's almost 1 full year after Crate that we got the next map, and to be honest, that was a bit of a hard pill to swallow, because it set a standard of basically 1 map per year. Of course, we're always thankful for everything we do get in the game, but 1 map a year just does not scratch the itch, especially with a brand like Star Wars that has so many different in-universe locations and planets. At that pace, it would take 20 years before we get all the planets we want in the game. For a game that was advertised as a live service, this just seems like slow service. Of course, the whole loot box debacle and the game's rough launch definitely changed some of the internal goings-on at EA and DICE when it came to Battlefront 2, and if you played the game during the Night on Endor or the Elite Core updates, you'll probably remember just how shaky the game felt, and we really weren't sure if it even had a future after that. Fortunately, the Clone Wars content came out full swing and, in my opinion, absolutely saved the game from that point on, and we have the game that we do today, which is great. The 1 map a year thing also sped up a bit with the release of Capital Supremacy in February, which brought another new map to the game, Pipeline Junction West on Geonosis. While yes, it was the same planet as before, and it most certainly reused some textures and maybe some assets from the GA map, this was still an entirely new location that the team created. Alongside it, we also got the new capital ship interiors, which are distinctly different from one another and are their own map locations themselves. There's even been talks of bringing these ship interiors to other modes, like Heroes vs. Villains. Between November of 2018 and February of 2019, we technically got 3 new maps, not to mention all the rehashed maps for Capital Supremacy in the following months. When you really stop to think about it, a lot of time and effort has been put on maps recently, and now Felucia's next, as the 3rd new Clone Wars location and the 4th new map altogether. We still don't have an exact release date for Felucia just yet, although I do believe we will be finding it out at Gamescom in just over a week's time, but as it's currently slated for the fall season, that could be anywhere from September to November. It could still be in December, but since the game updates usually come at the end of the month and winter officially starts on December 21st, it might be considered a winter release at that point. Either way, Felucia will be released in 2019 if all goes according to plan. So then, what's next? Is that it for maps? Is that it for Battlefront 2 as a whole? We really don't have the answers just yet, because we're not even sure the game will still be supported throughout next year. But my gut says that it will be, because the player count is constantly rising, More and more positive word of mouth is being spread about the game after the rough launch. The droidicas especially caught a lot of attention, and Capital Supremacy seems to be a favorite mode for a lot of players. I think it would be foolish to stop support when things at least appear to be going so well for the game. 2019 was the year for Clone Wars, definitely. In my opinion, I think 2020 will be the year for the sequel trilogy era, and maybe some more content for the original trilogy as well. Episode 9 is coming in December, and as it's the final movie in the episodic saga, I think it's almost a guarantee we will get content of some kind in honor of the release, even if it's just some skins from the film. I'm doubtful we'd get a new planet based off the movie, since Felucia would be dropping so close to Episode 9's release, but you never know. Felucia has been playable for a while now, and the team has been playtesting it, meaning most of the work seems to be finished already. Right now, they could be spending time making a map for the Rise of Skywalker release, or another map for the original trilogy era, like Sullust or something. After Felucia, the average map releases will have gone up too, up to 2 maps per year. We will have had Crate and Geonosis in 1 year's time, and Pipeline Junction West and Felucia in the 2nd year's time. Also considering all the work that was done for the 3 other Clone Wars maps that got added to CS this year. That's a lot of focus and time put on maps, so if you ask me, the team could possibly keep up that momentum and bring us more playable locations in 2020. Of course, other content must be considered. New heroes, reinforcements, skins. There's just so much potential content to add to a Star Wars game that sometimes it's tough to choose between what to include. But I'll pass it off to you. What other locations and planets would you like to see in Battlefront 2 after Felucia? Do you want more Clone Wars maps, or would you like to see some planets from the other eras as well? Drop a comment and let's keep the discussion going, but that's going to do it from me. I appreciate you all stopping by the bazaar. Be sure to thumbs up the video if you enjoyed, subscribe if you're new, and I will see you all out on the battlefront. Peace.
Forces have lost control of a command post.